Morning, everybody. We will call the Wright County Board of Commissioners meeting for September 28th to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good morning, everybody. Nice to see everybody here. All right. The County Board minutes from September 21st. Anybody have anything to add, changes, corrections, spelling, misspellings? That, I'll look for a motion.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chair.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Houston, second by Commissioner Ketchmark. Any further discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Review and approval of the agenda. Is there anything that anybody wants added to the agenda? Not, I'll look for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I will second that.
Motion by Commissioner Ketchmark, second by Commissioner Betch. Any further discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Consent agenda. Does anybody have anything they would like removed for further discussion?
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented today.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Betch, second by Commissioner Houston. Any further discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Attorney Kreiser, you going to be doing this?
I will. Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Here today in your capacity as the Drainage Authority for County Ditch 14. Last week we had a public hearing on County Ditch 14 with a petition for a partial abandonment. You directed staff to draft a resolution with findings and an order adopting the partial abandonment of CD 14. That resolution is now before the board for your review.
Anybody have any questions on it at all?
Mr. Chair, I will make a motion to approve the findings and order granting the petition for partial abandonment of Wright County Ditch number 14.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Houston, second by Commissioner Wetter. Is there any other discussions? Hearing none, roll call vote. Commissioner Ketchmark.
Aye.
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 Resolution carries unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kim, Fox, and Kelly. And how do you pronounce your last name?
Dry.
Dry?
But this is Natalie,
Yeah.
Oh,
one of our 4-H members.
Yeah.
Good morning. My name is Natalie Newman. I'm a member of the Farside 4-H Club. The Wright County 4-H Youth Development Program is an organization for young people, kindergarten through 1 year past high school graduation. Minnesota 4-H offers age-appropriate, hands-on learning through projects and activities including 4-H clubs, special interest groups, after-school programs, volunteering, civic engagement, community service, and more. Wright County 4-H program has 19 clubs and 200+ adult volunteers and over 600 members. The first week of October is the annual celebration of National 4-H Week nationwide. This week is a time to celebrate many great things about being a 4-H member. This week is also a time to showcase our organization in our communities and recruit new members. This week is also a time to get the word out to 4-H. To assist with our promotion efforts, Wright County 4-H would like to ask the Wright County Board of Commissioners to declare October 3rd through the 9th as National 4-H Week in Wright County. National 4-H Week in Wright County, October 3rd through the 9th, 2021. Whereas 4-H youth across the nation are leading efforts to solve problems in their communities and make a difference for the future. And whereas 4-H in Minnesota's largest youth development organization, growing leaders in every part of the state, reaching 69,000 youth last year alone. And whereas 4-H in Wright County numbers are more than 600 members and nearly 200 volunteers. Whereas Minnesota 4-H is committed to empowering youth with skills they need to lead for a lifetime. Whereas youth in 4-H collaborate with caring adults to lead hands-on activities, projects like science, health, agriculture, citizenship, and the arts. Whereas 4-H experience helps youth make positive choices, communicate effectively, build connections with peers and adults to be meaningful contributors to the local and global communities.
Well done, Natalie. So where are you from?
I'm from Buffalo,
Buffalo? And which group are you with?
Farside 4-H.
And what is your specialty?
I'm also a Minnesota State 4-H ambassador for the whole state of Minnesota.
Wow, that's a lot of work to do.
It is.
So are you school in Buffalo?
Maple Lake.
Maple Lake?
The
Go ahead.
chair, yeah, they was quite the write-up in the Wright County Journal Press of all the awards that your 4-Hers here won at the state fair, and I mean, there must have been 3 pages of pictures and things, and you were in there, so thank you. That's very impressive with, what the work that you're doing out there.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion declaring October 3rd through the 9th in Wright County National, or 4-H Week in Wright County. Thank you for everything you do.
I'll second that.
Good job.
Motion by Commissioner Betch, second by Commissioner Houston. Is there any further discussions? Hearing none. Resolution roll call vote. Commissioner Ketchmark.
Aye.
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 Resolution carries unanimous.
Keep
Thank
up the
you.
good work.
Thank you.
Next year you can sing it if you want. Boy, we're way ahead of schedule.
I guess we table this, huh, for,
Yeah,
till 10?
yeah. Items for consideration. Mr. Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As you know, we are required to adopt a preliminary levy prior to September 30th. We've had a number of meetings, both at the staff level and at the board level over the past few months. 9 days worth of budget meetings, including yesterday. We had some discussion as well. I think we did a lot of work this year. As I think I mentioned last week, we started out close to 12% and have whittled that down quite a bit. So what you have in front of you today is a resolution with a levy of $87,257,925 as the levy. This represents a 5.75% levy increase over last year's budget. I think one thing I would like to mention, we've been trying to be mindful as property values going up and knowing other jurisdictions come into play with people's individual property taxes. And so I think we took an effort here to try and keep ours as flat as possible from the county's portion while still balancing that we capture the new growth in the county. So what you have before you is as we left it at the end of yesterday's Budget Committee of the Whole meeting. I will stand for any questions you may have at this time.
Anybody have any questions? Everybody had a chance to look at the tax impact comparison with prior years that Tammy had sent to everybody?
Yes. Looking good.
All right.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion setting the preliminary levy at the stated 5.75.
Second that.
Motion by Commissioner Vetch, second by Commissioner Houston. Is there any further discussion? Roll call vote. Commissioner Ketchmark.
Aye.
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 Resolution carries unanimous. Item number 2.
All right, as you know, we are required to set a special meeting to discuss the budget and levy annually. That meeting must be set 6 p.m. or later. At this point, we had targeted December 9th at 6 p.m., which would be a Thursday evening for said meeting. That work for everyone?
December 9th at 6
December
p.m.
9th is the proposed date, yes.
Does that work for everybody?
That works.
I mean, it's plenty of
I
time
can't
ahead
make
of
that
time.
one.
I'm sorry?
I can't make that evening one.
You can't?
No.
Alrighty.
What are you thinking?
Does it have to be a Thursday evening or?
No.
Does not. Some considerations we've had is that a lot of jurisdictions, either city, township, also meet Monday, Tuesdays, sometimes Wednesday. You get into religion, we could move up a week. I don't think there's a right answer. We just have to do it later than 6 p.m.
How about the 2nd? Does that work for you?
Thursdays just aren't good evenings.
No, actually, I was mistaken. The event is the 2nd, so I could do it the 9th.
Okay.
The 9th is available.
Okay,
Okay.
At 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock.
Okay.
Chair, I'll make a motion to set the resolution, schedule the budget and levy for December 9th at 6 p.m.
A second.
Motion by Commissioner Houston, second by Commissioner Wetter. Set the
Special board meeting.
special board meeting. Otherwise, it's to discuss the 2022 budget and levy, also known in the past as truth and taxation.
Yes.
Any further discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous.
Okay.
Item number 3.
Okay. Commissioners, you may recall prior week we had put on about some policy changes. We thought it was wise at that time to pull it off and break it out to a committee of the whole discussion, thinking that you may not want to just do it as a personnel committee, so rather do it as a larger group. So bringing that back this week to have some discussion to set that meeting. Also, I think it'd be good to just touch base on our recently adopted emergency sick leave policy, just to give an update on kind of where things are at. So looking at setting a date, some dates we were looking at were the afternoon of the 4th, potentially the afternoon of the 5th, around Human Services on the 11th. Several options depending on what works for the board's calendar. So.
At this point, I see nothing scheduled for after the board meeting on the 5th. Anybody have any?
We would have leadership, the quarterly leadership that day with the board and
okay.
department
Oh,
heads.
we do have leadership that day?
10:30?
Correct.
I don't have that on my calendar.
That on there.
So we're looking,
Monday, the 4th work?
I can go with the 4th if you want to go. You want to go like 9?
Sure.
We maybe bump to 10, is that possible?
Yeah, we can go
Okay.
10.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I have an appointment in the morning. So yeah, 10 will work better for me.
All right,
Okay.
10's fine.
10, okay.
October 4th at 10.
And if possible, I know we have had that information before. Can I get possibly somebody to send that out to us again?
Sure.
Oh. Has it changed since?
No.
Okay.
But there were some changes on it, and I'm assuming those were in yellow correctly.
Yeah, we tried to provide a red strike-through
Yeah.
version. Granted, some of it is basically a remove and replace from the existing policy. So,
Pretty extensive.
yes.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to set the committee of the whole for to review the personnel handbook on October 4th at 10 a.m.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Houston, second by Commissioner Ketchmark. Any further discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Item number 4.
All right, I'm a popular guy today. As you know, we are renewing our health insurance. We've received some preliminary numbers. Would like to have a closed session to meet with the board to discuss our contribution to employees as part of negotiations for yet this fall. We'll have to meet with the unions to work through that. So looking at scheduling a closed session, a lot of the days mentioned previously would work. If you would want to do the afternoon of the 5th, or around Health and Human Services on the 11th, just looking at days when the board I know is here already, so.
Mr. Chair, or Minister Kelly, can we do it after the personnel committee?
On the 4th?
I think we could.
Like at 11, or do you think it will take more than an hour to go through the personnel handbook?
I have a feeling it'll probably take more than an hour.
An hour, yeah. It could be a little
11:30?
Right with Sean here.
Did Sean have some specific dates in mind?
We were looking at the afternoon of the 5th, 11th, 12th, or 13th predominantly.
So, does anybody have any issues with the afternoon of the 5th?
You want to go like 1 o'clock on the 5th?
Yeah, we can do that.
That work?
Does that work for everybody?
Sure.
Okay. All right, I'll look for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Batch, second by Commissioner Wetter. Any further discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. December 7th.
Yes, Mr. Chair, put this on the agenda as that does fall during the AMC conference in December, which runs the 6th through the 8th. Traditionally, we've canceled this date as it's conflicted with the conference. So I wanted to raise that early in order to address it. So
And that's down in Minneapolis this year?
it is Bloomington, yes.
You pick another date that,
We just forgo.
Traditionally,
or you
we've
just forget that?
foregone the meeting in December.
Okay.
Mr.
Gotcha.
Chair, I'll make a motion to cancel the December 7th county board meeting.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Vetch, second by Commissioner Wetter. Any other discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. So those are on the, so it's the 6th and the 7th this year for the MC?
Yep. It's that first full week of December, first couple days.
Alrighty.
All right.
Committee minutes.
We have to vote.
Oh,
What?
did we vote?
Do we vote?
I don't think we did, no.
No,
There's a motion by Commissioner Vetch and second by Commissioner Wetter, right?
Yep.
that's correct.
I said that,
Yeah.
but I forgot to ask for the vote.
I
don't
don't
know.
think we voted.
I think we were all so busy on putting it on our calendars that we kind of forgot to do that.
Andy, do we vote?
What?
Oh,
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. All right, there, no question about it. We've canceled that 7th.
I think it's funny that all 5 of us can't remember either.
I know.
Well, I had written it down that you did already, so
Maybe the
Huh?
oxygen.
myself.
We did vote on it, right?
Yeah.
I
I
thought,
had written down that we did, but sometimes I
Andy
get
said
ahead of
we didn't,
myself.
so
Angie,
we did not.
we didn't? Are you sure?
Well, we got it now, for sure.
The back,
I think the oxygen level must be low in here and we're all just.
the back row says we didn't, so.
Yeah, but they never pay attention.
It's from that trip yesterday,
Yeah. All right,
where our senses are,
committee minutes, committee of the whole, Commissioner Wetter.
yes. Okay, that was September 20th. All the commissioners were present, and we discussed the ARP, or the American Rescue Plan, updates. So far, there's 36 requests totaling 30 million and approved with an allocation of more than 22 million. 13 programs have been approved. Initially, so far, 10 million has been allocated to the broadband. Schools were so far unchanged as far as their requests. For the cities, sewer and water is 4 million based on the population. That's their request. But the cities also have to have matching funds and have definite projects they're going to do. And these also have to be reviewed by Baker Tilly, the ARP consulting firm. Also discussed was what percent would the cities have to match, and that was decided, or suggested anyways, that that would be 50%. And that deadline for the cities would be the end of 2023. As far as new and proposed programs, there was new information regarding our lost revenue from Baker Tilly, and it changed the calculation from no lost revenue to 1.6 million in lost revenue. The calculation is based on guidance from the ARP, and 2019 is the base year, and then it's looked at going backwards to identify what the inflation rate really is. The county's minimum inflation rate is 4.1%, and the last 3 years have yielded the county 9.4% inflation rate. Also, ARP allows the county to take the 1.6 million of its allocation and spend it towards governmental services. So that would be spent for the outlying maintenance shop plan, that Seagull expansion, and that would be paid for by that 1.6 million. Also, the high-level programs discussed were the customer flow management system, categorized as capital improvement plan. The replaced HVAC controls in the Historical Society would be CIP, or capital improvement plan. The emergency paid sick leave for the county staff, that was discussed. And the park maintenance and upgrades, that would be also the capital improvement plan. As far as approving the grant applications, all of the high-level programs that I just talked about that the board has approved have now submitted a more detailed grant application. County Ditch 33 could potentially be a jurisdictional change to the city of Monticello. it will have to be applied as something different and not a wetland restoration. And they would apply to the Clean Water Act project. County Ditch 33 thus will be put on hold until the plan is finalized. The 5 parks projects submitted for the grant application also have more detail and decided to use the area deprivation index to fund that. Portions of the county that have a higher area deprivation index number, areas have been targeted for the parks projects. Elizabeth Carroll's also talked about a few other applications in the works, and safe families and expanding emergency assistance. Need to have the details gone through to make sure these projects are eligible, and then those should be ready within a week or two. The Wright County Economic Development Partnership Business Counseling and Technical Assistance did apply for a grant through Department of Employment and Economic Development, or DEED. So they would be looking for $50,000 in a matching fund, which they would get through ARP, and then thus they would get the rest to receive $150,000. The programmable sign through the Health and Human Services, that would cost $25,000. The Highway Department will own the sign, and there would have to be an administrative agreement between the Highway Department and the Health and Human Services. And then also, if employees need in the future to be tested, there's also a program already going on in the jail, so that would just be added into that project, and would be submitted for reimbursement. You wouldn't get paid up front. You would have to submit for reimbursement. There's a hold on the economic assistance for the community dental care, and that's because they have not provided a number at this point, so we'll have to wait on that. So for recommendations, we had a meeting Tuesday, follow up, and discuss some of these things then. When the city's applications start coming in, have to have the board look at those in chunks. Have the staff remove from the list any projects that Baker Tilly seems ineligible. And Elizabeth Carroll's will follow up with the schools. We'll have to ask Central Minnesota Jobs and Training Services to attend a future meeting to go over the request to clear up some confusion. Mr. Chair, I would say going forward to approve the Committee of the Whole minutes on September 20th.
And the recommendations.
And the recommendations. Thank you.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Wetter, second by Commissioner Houston. Any further discussions? Commissioner Vetch, didn't you have a meeting regarding that ditch over recently?
That's actually Thursday.
Oh, okay.
So that's
I remember you saying something about it, I just
Yep.
couldn't recall. So the sign can get purchased. I don't know if you've seen the email from Jamie regarding the sign for the Highway Department that they
Steve
built.
Meyer and, yep.
Yeah. So is that all right with you, Commissioner Ketchmark?
Well, I didn't understand that the highway department could claim ownership per se. I thought they were if it's not being used by human services, that highway could use it. But I didn't know that was approved for highway to actually get the stamp ownership, because I didn't think that qualified for that.
Well, I think Highway was gonna store it and maintain it, so
Yeah.
they were gonna, basically gonna be the owners of it, and then just basically first dibs would be to go to Health and Human Services. But because Health and Human Services doesn't have the ability to transport it or maintain it, therefore it would kind of live and be owned by the Highway.
Well, I'm still not in favor of it. I guess if we ran out of other places to legitimately spend the money, then I'd come back to the programmable sign. But I'm just not in favor of it being attached to the ARP and Health and Human Services. Highway needs one, that's a separate deal, and we can work that out. It sounded like it got broke during Health and Human Services using
The
it.
vaccine
Yeah,
clinic,
wind
yep.
blew it over while they had it drug out to wherever location, but I'm just not sold on that yet.
Well, we gotta replace that somehow.
Right.
I mean, the highway needs that sign.
Right.
But I don't know how, it seems like it's a little too, I don't know, a little too foggy as to replacing the highway department sign with a sign that Health and Human Services needs, and it's their kind of fingerprint on the request. And we're filling kind of two requests with this. One is approved, which would be the Health and Human Services one, but not the highway department's use.
Well, then maybe we just look at it as Health and Human Services is replacing the sign they broke.
Well, yeah, Mr. Chair, that's what I was gonna say.
Zach?
Their request, they brought the request because it broke under their, watch, essentially. But as Steve Meyer said, I mean, it was an accident. I mean, no matter who was using it, but I think Jamie felt responsible because they were using it for the vaccine clinic. So it really is, my understanding, it is
Eligible.
highway, yeah, and it's eligible, but then they would be able to use it, like, we can request that, I mean, META can request it, I mean, different groups can request, there's still the highway signs, but it's, other groups asked to use it, so I guess that's the way I look at it.
Mr. Chair, all I know is that we do have to have a programmable sign. I mean, I hope we don't have any more road flooding issues, but I tell you, it was
Right.
about not that
Oh,
long,
yeah.
3 years ago, where we had a number of roads that were flooded out, and that programmable sign, we couldn't get it around enough to
We
get.
can't,
Well, it wasn't just flooding, it was when they had the electrical, the tornado or stray line
Michael?
winds through,
Yeah.
through St. Michael Hanover.
oh, yeah,
And
Yeah,
they had 19 closed down because of electrical wires.
yep.
yes.
So, Mr. Chair, just if I could, I know the committee meets weekly, and I know this was one of the applications that we had worked through our process that was planned to be on next week's board. So I did see the email from Jamie moving forward. We were planning to bring this forward as part of our process next week, so.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if you need to act today on it, but that, just from the committee standpoint, what we were going to
So,
be
that's
doing,
fine.
so.
That's fine,
Just to
Mr.
make you
Chair. I
aware.
brought it up early on the last one because I didn't know what point we were at on discussion, so we talked about it then, but that's fine.
Okay, just wanted to clarify.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah, Commissioner White?
Has the highway department ever rented, do they rent signs too, programmable ones, or just
Oh,
the
no.
ones with the letters already that you can put in?
I think they've done many things over the years, depending on the situation. The programmable ones are quick and easy to do.
Yeah. Plus the letters don't blow off.
Well,
Get them out
a lot of
where
it,
they
I
need
think, came
them.
down to the time that it takes when they rent it to going and getting a rental one and getting it out to the site and having it, and then also being available.
But
Yeah.
they do rent if they need more, is what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying, when they need a
Yeah.
whole bunch. Okay.
And I'm thinking too that it may be something that the county wants to consider for out here, maybe starting in first part of December. Having either programmable sign or one that we rent with saying that we will be moving out to
Yeah.
the new facility starting in.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, we've had some discussions about how to communicate that and really to find that sweet spot of not too soon, not too late.
Right.
Knowing where our turnover, the most up-to-date I got from Alan yesterday was our turnover date in the new facility will be approximately the 12th of January. So we were looking at putting out a first kind of wave of social media communications mid-October, probably about the week of the 11th, and then start signage on campus here and at the Human Services Center in earnest closer to the mid-November date period, and then push it through. Just because we didn't want people to be too confused if we put it up too soon.
Yep.
Especially some discussions, given property taxes will be now collected at a new location for the first time if people are paying closer to May. So I want to make sure we get the right information at the right time.
Mr. Chair.
Is the 12th kind of, like if we have a snowstorm, would they maybe do it the next day or the?
Potentially, and again, that's the plan date for the turnover of the keys.
Okay.
Alan has met with the company that'll be doing the moving and putting together the schedule, so not everyone will be moving on that first day of the 12th,
Okay.
so more to come.
Okay.
You know, for the truth taxation meeting, it'd be nice to have that big sign out front too, saying,
Yep.
because there'll be
Oh.
a possibility of a fair amount of people. Commissioner Houston?
Yeah, I mean, communication, as much as we can get out, because I was in the atrium yesterday, and 2 separate people were looking for courts here. And people still come here looking for the jail.
Yep.
So it's, you know, and they've been there since 2009. The courts have been there for almost a year. So the more communication we can get out, the better. And until we're completely vacated, then people will start realizing that we've moved, I think.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Ketchmark?
has it been proposed to have some type of a sign out at the new buildings, maybe right in the middle of the whole compound from County Road 138 North, put a programmable sign there to have messages across? Sometimes they're encased in a stone type sign, and they run across like, get your gun permits or whatever kind of message anybody in the county departments would have. I don't know, is that in the works or?
Not that I'm aware of. We had just planned the static sign with kind of the directions in the campus, setting out the buildings. It's maybe something we could do. I know there may be some city issues with that we'd have to go through. I'm not sure. I haven't explored it, but.
That's not a bad idea though, right where the Parks building is.
On the corner?
Yeah, but one of the issues is that eventually there's going to be a roundabout or 2 roundabouts there too, so I guess we'd have to get that
Correct.
figured out first.
And we can't have lighted signs or scrolling signs per our county ordinance at this time on a
Well,
county
that's
road.
that would
So-
be a city there
Oh, yeah.
and a state. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess if you consider it's no longer
Well,
a
actually,
county
no,
road.
that is county road there.
It's
Well, it,
Brad, it's-
yeah.
I don't know. Anyway. that's
Something to
my
think
thing.
about for the future. All right, any other discussions? I think we took that sucker down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, sorry about that.
My apologies.
10 minutes after the.
Too, I asked
got
the
extra time.
question.
Yeah, I was just trying to kill some time because. All right, any other discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Advisory committee, advisory board updates.
How about technology?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I
So
thought we already did that one.
I'll pound through it really fast for you, okay? Make up some time. So last week on Wednesday, the IT committee met once again with a room full of people, definitely packed, because Mr. Falby puts together such good information. It is super intriguing. It's almost like an Oscar-winning movie. So anyways, we started off with the discussion about the camera project, which is on its finalizing the data migration. Things are moving along fairly swiftly with that. We also then had the discussion on the Nintex to Power Automate. This is basically provides many of the SharePoint workflows. This change actually has the potential to save us about $100,000 on future expenses. That would be at about $100,000 if we would have stayed with Nintex. Also moving forward with the website redesign, which is largely going to be around ADA and mobile compliance in functionality. Still working on the O365 security and other aspects of O365 as we keep moving deeper into that project. Then we also kind of had a discussion on new projects. We discussed a lot of the work that is being done for the ARP applications and the workflows that will go with these applications. So kind of an update on that. Other one that we discussed was the need for a gun permit printer for the sheriff's office, and what you would think would be very simple was actually more complex on just a simple printer discussion.
And it was because it's two special colored inks.
Yes, so, yeah.
Really?
Well,
didn't
and the
like-
printers aren't just like simple cheap printers. You're talking like card printers, so
Oh.
they're upwards of
Oh.
like $8,000-9,000 for each of the printers, and trying to figure out how it could be done. So more to come on that. Then also we had a discussion on the HHS PA system and how that works within their department and the new building holistically. So because there was some kind of misunderstandings of what it would do or wouldn't do. So some clarity was brought to that. Then also we had the discussion about the project list and the summary and the placement of the priority for ARP projects and whether they are being prioritized correctly. Then we also had a little discussion on ERP, and as it's coming to its end of its assessment by
Sierra Cedar.
Sierra Cedar, I'm gonna get that right, Sierra Cedar. So we'll be getting an update on that, as we will hopefully be picking the ERP project back up and actually moving the ball forward on that. With that, Mr. Chair, I will make a motion to approve the minutes, and I don't believe there was any recommendation. So, there was one recommendation to approve the ARP project to have a priority ranking right below the new government center. All right?
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Vett, second by Commissioner Houston. Any further discussions? Any questions? Any answers? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Okay, advisory committee, advisory board updates. Start out with Mr. Kelly.
Sure. Thank you, sir. As was mentioned, ERP continues to move forward. I don't know if I mentioned it last week, but we have now completed our assessment with Sierra Cedar. They are off putting together their report of their findings. I think good news overall. Just want them to document and put together a projected path forward for us that we can then take and resource appropriately and move forward. So look forward to seeing that in the next week or so from Sierra Cedar. I think it's been a good process, and they've shown their knowledge as part of this, which has been very refreshing. So over the last week, a number of meetings I was able to attend. Thank you to Commissioner Houston for inviting me to attend the Buffalo Rotary meeting. Looked like a very good turnout. Had a good presentation by the sheriff and Brian Johnson and Captain Hoffman about operations at the sheriff's office and the training facility.
We're actually, that's where we were.
Yep, we were out there. It was a nice day.
Was.
Good group. So. Also, I know a few of you attended the XL breakfast, which was held virtually this year again. But good to get an update on what's going on with XL in the region, both on our side as well as Sherburne. So, of course, we had the pork chop lunch, always a good event. So, a lot of discussions about how that's going to take place as we move north of town and the best way to do that. So, be good, but it was nice to meet with employees and have an opportunity to get together since we were not able to do so last year. So
A good turnout, I thought.
yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you.
The virtual breakfast, did they virtually send you pancakes then? Just kind of curious.
I can send you some in our office if you'd like.
Commissioner Ketchmark.
Less carbs.
I went to the library meeting, and motion was made and passed to continue not collecting fines for overdue books, but people are going to be still responsible if they lose an item. And that was the most noteworthy out of that, and that's all I had for the week. The rest was already covered.
Commissioner Houston.
Yeah, I was at the Health and Human Services Advisory Committee meeting, and we welcomed 2 members, Kimberly Marquez and Todd Smith, and we've been working to actually request that people that aren't attending meetings, start attending or, to resign. So we've had a couple of those. A discussion about illegal drugs, and a lot of them are coming actually from the St. Cloud area, so I was not aware of that. COVID update, the Pfizer booster is approved, and they'll start doing the vaccines and boosters in November. Some other discussion, things going on. And yeah, some of the, at the XL breakfast, I thought it was, a lot of interesting information. Some of us, we've heard in the past, of course, but they are looking to be 100% carbon-free by 2050, reduce carbon 80% by 2030, and 60% renewable by 2030. And of course, nuclear is renewable. They are the largest taxpayer in Minnesota. They did spend $925 million in Minnesota. They have 4,500 jobs. And the nuclear in Monticello is extended from 2030 to 2040. So that's cool. And the it says Prairie Island will operate to end of life in 2033 or 2034. So more to come on that. We went to the Turn graduation, the drug court. So we had two graduates, and they met in Sturgis Park. So it was really a celebration for these people when they think of the hundreds of drug tests that they've gone through in these, over the course of almost sometimes 2 years, a year or so. And so a couple of keynote speakers and just a lot of celebration and support from family and friends. And also then Dr. Balsanova, who had done the seminar, in other words, about drug substance use and abuse, in August, did a follow-up presentation last Thursday, the Minding Our Words, continuing the conversation on stigma and harm reduction, and discussed addiction, and it is a chronic brain disease, and that has potential for relapse and reassurance. I mean, there's differences between use, abuse and disuse, disorder. Substance abuse disorder is repeated misuse of the substance, and it gradually leads to changes in the brain. So there was some real good, very good presentation, and I can forward that to you. But just basically, it's harm reduction, evidence-based public health approach. So things that work to, help people and not to have stigma against people that have this really disease. Oh, and I think that was about it. A couple other meetings with people, but that's all I have with advisory committee.
All right. Last Wednesday, Commissioner Wetter and myself attended the broadband meeting in the evening. It was very interesting. For those that didn't have that opportunity, it is available on the county website to view as they recorded. We had a good turnout, lots of questions.
About 32 were there.
So, yeah, it was good. We had some vendors there also. We tried not to let them be too much of a commercial, but we love all of our ISPs out here in the county, and hopefully they'll continue to help us out. Which does remind me, we were talking about the broadband with the ARP and getting fiber or getting piping in the road, but we don't have a policy on that yet. And I think that's something that we probably will want to get done with. I know like County Road 37 next year, it's going to be rebuilt, and I don't know what other ones, but I'm just thinking that might be something that we have something planned for that.
Just wanted to chime in on that piece. We're working on it. We've gathered a few county samples. I know Elizabeth and Ellie are planning to meet with Virgil and Chad and get some input on that. I don't remember what day that meeting's set for, but in progress, and we'll bring something forward.
Did we have a transportation committee planned for the future sometime?
No, but we will have one here
Yeah.
before the end of the year, so.
So this one of those things we should add to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
People mostly from the cities or townships or just citizens?
Both. I think there were people from the townships
Oh,
and the
yeah,
cities, both.
cities,
Good.
yes. It seemed like
Yeah, I
it was
wish I
pretty
could have been
good.
there.
Yeah, so, yeah, I thought it was very good. And then Wellness met last week on Tuesday, and I wasn't able to attend that one. But they've got quite a few programs still going on. For the county employees, I believe their blood donation drive went fairly well. So that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
And thank you to all of our employees that are able to do that, because I can't. All right, Commissioner Ritz.
All right, last week on Thursday, I was invited to be a speaker on a panel for 7W and the Blandon Foundation regarding broadband. So, very, very nice event, having speakers from state, local, and all different levels, talking about the complexity of the issue and what everybody's doing and how we're going to move forward with it. So it was a very, very good informational event. Also had a meeting yesterday with the Initiative Foundation and staff talking about childcare and some initiatives that we could take forward to retain and expand childcare opportunities. After some good discussion, we are working on putting together a think tank group of a variety of center and home-based childcare providers to talk about the current challenges that they have to remaining open, as well as what are the barriers for them not keeping them from being able to expand. Childcare is only going to get more complex, especially if some of the legislation that's out there at the federal level would actually remove 3 and 4 year olds and put them in the school districts. That would basically, those are largely the money making, just because the ratio is higher for them, that they can, home-based daycares can actually make some money on that, which just drives the price up for infants, 1 and 2 year olds, which puts the childcare for the first 3 years unobtainable, and also makes it an unlivable job venture for the other side too. So definitely some challenges that we have to get in front of and to start working on and having discussions on what can be done with it. There is some models out there that could work, but it's going to take some working through on it to make it possible. So more to come.
Commissioner Water.
Well, both things that I would have reported on have already been spoken about, but concerning the broadband, I thought was very interesting because since Saturday, we have not had internet service at our house. And one person does not understand what it's like until you have no service.
Yeah.
And then after 2 hours on the phone yesterday, found out that, oh, well, we could get a technician out to your house mid-October sometime. And so I just, please work on this broadband. Nothing more to say.
Yeah, it's hard to believe how important that is.
Oh, yes. Luckily, this is by
Yeah.
different service.
Anything else? Then I think we'll recess until 10 o'clock.
Okay. Big 5.
Good.
Which way you going, you know, from 45 down?
We will reconvene the county board meeting for one of the most enjoyable parts of the county board, and that's to recognize the years of service of our employees. And we've had employees here that have been here for over 45 years until there's newer ones. So Commissioner Ketchmark, if you would start us out, please.
Yes, and thanks again. I got the folks with the most decades of service here to read off, starting with Kevin Johnson from the Highway Department. I don't see Kevin here.
Oh, Kevin's here today.
And next, 35 years, Thomas Waldron from the Highway Department.
He's here.
Thomas is here.
Hey.
35 years. Thanks, Thomas. Keep up the good work.
Yeah. Thank you.
Next, 30 years, from the Sheriff's Office, Scott Hallinan and Todd Olson. I don't see them here.
They're all working.
Luann Winterhalter from the County Attorney's Office, 30 years. Luann here? Luann. So I have 30, 35, and 45 years. Thank you.
Commissioner Hewson.
All right. Well, I'm honored to give the 25 years Amy Pribble from the sheriff. Amy's here. Yay. Thank you, Amy. And Shelley Stotko from HHS. No Shelley today. 20 years, Roseanne Duran from HHS. Roseanne. Tammy Stolars from Court Services is here. Benjamin Miller, I saw him come in from the Sheriff's Office. Amy Ristinen from HHS. Amy. Thank you, Amy. James Russell, Highway. Thank you. And Robert Sauls, Sheriff's Office. Steve. Yes, so thank you all.
I have the honor of introducing our 15-year recognition of service, Adam Fournier of the Sheriff's Department. We have Carrie Hartman of HHS.
He's here.
We have Dale Jor of Highway Department. We have Eric, is it?
Canoop.
What? Canoop, okay, of the Sheriff's Department. We have Charles Marks of the Highway Department. We have Michael McGill of the Sheriff's Department. And we have Lori Perkins Kwalchek of HHS. Yeah, for 15 years. And the 10-year recognition goes to Kristen Kaler of HHS. We have Diane Erkins of HHS.
Yeah.
And then we have Dennis Hanlon of the Sheriff's Department. And we have Terry Morrow of the Assessor's Office. Thank you for 10 years.
10 years.
And then for 5 years, we've got Kathleen Albers from the Recorder. Cheryl Daniels from Planning and Zoning. Joy Decker from HHS. Allison Dudek from HHS. Not here, okay. Andrew Emanuel from the Sheriff's Office. Not here. Lori Hermosillo from the Sheriff's Office. Mary Lee from HHS. Scott Ludwig from Highway. Belinda Pejo from HHS. Jessica Shaughnessy from HHS. Valerie Stoll from HHS. John Thalberg from HHS. Eleanor Vaness from HHS. Nicole Varhol from HHS. And Kaylin Worm from HHS. Thank you all for your service.
Now, you know, normally we always had cake and cookies and that sort of stuff, but now we don't have that, right? We should have saved those cookies from last Thursday.
I don't know if they'd be good yet.
Might be some pork chops left.
I don't think there are any of those left, but those cookies, I know they sure got distributed very easily.
By someone.
Yeah. Everybody, thank you very much for all your years of service
Yes.
and everything you do for the residents of the county. We
Yes.
appreciate it all.
We do.
And we are adjourned.
All right.